Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. I just felt like doing more videos today. Some people are like, you sure do put up a lot of videos. I'm like, you sure do care. Like, what do you care for? Anyway. Listen, I've been looking at the internet and I found this no contact rule. That who makes up this stuff? No contact rule. How to get your ex back or something like that? Listen, there's a lot of people who have no contact rules, and they all vary. This one woman here, she's got a degree in psychology and sociology, so she's trying to give her perspective as if it's, you know, something you should write down because she's got a degree. Who cares? People go through relationships and they can give their no contact, in order to get your ex back. Eh, I used to play that game, you know. One time I called and there was another guy over her house. Yeah, I decided I'm just not going to talk to you. Now there's another guy who's spending the night with her. Now what are you gonna do? And when I say I called and they were in the mix, I called and they were already so I was a waste. You know what I'm saying? So look, a lot of times we're spiritually tied to someone. As soon as you start having sex with people, this is why I don't go around sleeping around. Because as soon as you have sex with somebody, you're spiritually tied to them. The spirit world gets involved. The Bible talks about that. You get a soul tie to someone. So if you're gonna play the no contact thing, you better do some praying because those spirits are gonna be talking to you. They're gonna be telling you how much you miss this person. And if you don't believe me, just tell the spirit to go away. If you're going through that now, say, "I'm not listening to you. Go away. I don't want you." And watch what happens. Your body, something's going to happen physically to you because that spirit's going to come up out of you and leave you. If you don't believe me, try it. If you're with somebody and you're sleeping with that person, and all of a sudden you and that person decide you don't want to, be around each other, and you want to do this whole no contact thing to see if she or he comes back, try it. Whenever you hear them voices in your head, you talk to those spirits and you start rebuking them in the name of the Lord and stuff like that and see what happens to you. Your body will start shaking. Those spirits are coming out of you. You're getting rid of them, and there's a whole host of them that comes along with sex. This is why sexual sins, God's like, don't do it. So a lot of this no contact nonsense I don't even listen to because it varies on each situation. You know what I'm saying? And unless you're going to dip into the spiritual world, then everybody's advice is just not even worth listening to because you have to start at the root of the problem with being in contact with somebody. You have a spiritual relationship with them. Listen, even if it's not a sexual relationship, there is a spirit that binds you. It could be good, it could be bad. There is some type of spirit that binds you when you start hearing voices in your head or voices around you, or saying, you start feeling like you're being pulled towards that person, or I really miss you. No, you don't really miss them. You don't miss them. The spirit misses them. The spirit of the activity that you used to do misses them. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's just hanging out together. That spirit that connected you to is saying, I miss that. I want to feed off of that again. And it could just be something that's just innocent. It could just be hanging out as neighbors. If you hung out for years, you miss that. That bond between you two, you have a spiritual connection to that person. That's it. That's it, and that's all. I don't care if it's going golfing, whatever it is, there is a spirit connected to it. So unless you address the spirit in a no contact rule, then you're fooling yourself. Because you're going to keep wanting and desiring that because it's not you who's telling you to do it. It is a spirit or spirits inside of you that is saying, we want this. We should do this. And like I said, it could be good or bad, depending on the activity. It doesn't always have to be a sexual thing, but sexual spirits are very powerful. And a lot of times you can't get rid of them unless you fast and pray. And scriptures talk about that. So it's good and bad to it. Some people you're bound to simply because you're supposed to be bound to that person. The feeling that you have with that person and that connection with that person, it's supposed to be there. Mother, daughter, you're bound to them. Even though your daughter's grown and she's out the house doing whatever, you still love your daughter. That's your daughter. That's a natural, it's a nature thing there. And it's a spiritual thing there too. That's why you see it when you see a lot of mother daughters get into it. It's a very hurtful thing to watch because the natural order is being broken up. Father, son, what I'm saying? When you see a lot of fathers who are not in the household and then the son finally sees them, the son wants to fight them. It's just you weren't here. It's not the fact that the son needed you to needed you to be there every second staring them down. The son needed to know that, I can depend on you for a lot of things. As growing up, it's hard to grow up without a father, you know, without a dad. Saying without a father, without a dad. Oh, dad's one thing, father's another thing. Dad is the one who's donated the sperm. Father's the one who fathered you. So a lot of time you have other, fathers who this is not my child, but they come in and they try to father the son because they love the mother, so they love the child, even though the child isn't theirs. And, they try to raise it. So when the child grows up, the child looks at the father who fathered him and says, "This is my father, you're just my dad. You're the one who got me here. This is a person that got me to be the man that I am." So you have that kind of connection. So a lot of times when you see that broken yoke between the father and the son, and they finally meet after years, the son is angry. He's angry because he's hurt. He's like, "Why didn't you want me? Why didn't you stay around?" And sometimes that has nothing to do with the fact that the father didn't want you. It has to do with the relationship between the mother and the father. Nonetheless, still that is a spiritual bond. So a lot of the no contact rule, for what little I'm listening to, you're trying to get your girl back or your man back. Don't play those games with these spirits. If you're going to break it off with them, just I'm done. You know what I'm saying? I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done with you. If you're waiting for the woman to come back, there's a good chance that another man has already entered her life. Because, for one, if you're a half decent, dude, your girl looks good. Your woman looks good. There's always been men trying to get at her, and as soon as you mess up, boom, there's gonna be a guy who's just he's gonna slip in there. There's a good chance he was already there. She just didn't give in to him. She's already. We meet these women out all the time. You see them, you're just like, wow, you're really beautiful. Can I contact you? Sometimes they'll give you their number. I've had women give me their number, and they got a man. They won't leave their man, but nonetheless, they want to talk to me. It is what it is. And then finally, the dude is gone. Then next thing you know, you're going out to dinner with her or whatever. Hanging out, whatever you guys do. So I would be very careful when it comes to relationship. I'm probably going to get cut off soon. I would be very careful, guys and women, to playing that game. Don't play the game like you're the only person in town because you're going to call your lover and they're going to be loving somebody else and they're not going to care. They're going to walk past you like they never knew you. I've had it happen to me before. Like, I used to date you for 5 years, walk past me like they never knew me. Never acknowledged me. It's like, I don't even know you. It's just like all this stuff we shared, all the feelings we shared, all that out the window. They don't care. They moved on. So I'm telling you, if you're gonna play these games, be prepared to be hurt if you still have feelings for that person. And if you really don't want to carry those feelings around and you want to get rid of that spirit, just in the name of Jesus, I rebuke you, spirit. I don't want to think about this person. Get everything that's involved with that person out of your house because the spirits will connect to them. And then just let that person go and keep going. Now, there's some people who can go around sleeping with everybody and they have no connection to them at all. They just don't care. That is a very, very dangerous thing to do. Very, very dangerous. Those spirits that will lead you right into somebody you're really not supposed to be around or with. And once you get connected to them, something bad is going to happen between you and them. And it could be realm of anything, but the simple fact is you were never supposed to be with this person. So this is what I think about the no contact rule. I don't think there is a rule. I think you guys should cut this out, and I'm out.